Going, everybody? This is Nick with Crypto Vision. The crypto market cap right now is $3.67 trillion, down 2.77%. Altcoin index is 26 out of 100. Fear and greed is at a 28. And let me just give you my personal thoughts. The crypto market is crashing. What do you do? You should thank God right now that you are early to something finally. Especially if you're listening to this right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Our system is broke and a new system is coming in. There will be hybrid systems that will be adopted, just like the post office had to adopt email, internet. Heck, it had to stop traveling mail by horse and buggy. Had to even get a vehicle. Okay, there will be cryptocurrencies that will be hybrid systems that will work alongside of the system to complement it and to make it fast and to make it to where no one can be debanked. And the first time everybody's like, "Oh, they're gonna see everything. I don't like it." You talk about debank, they're gonna shut your card down. They're gonna shut you down. No, they aren't. They are banning the creation of CBDCs. If they put that in permanency, if that law goes into permanency, that means that there is no way to do that. Which makes sense too, because there should only be one Federal Reserve. If there was more CBDCs, there would be more Federal Reserves. I mean, sort of, in a nutshell. How we're going to understand this a little more, though, is we're going to read a book. It's a pretty deep book. It's a heavy book. It's controversial. It's a conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, but it definitely talks about the history of what happens. The new money revolution. It's a golden age. It's kind of funny how it's titled, isn't it? Well, we're just gonna read some chapters, and we'll pick it back up after we're done. So, the first chapter here is a Den of Thieves. We'll see the picture illustrated right here. Truth and justice is at hand. Look at that. Getting ready to crack the whip down. Person's like, no. Look at that. Look at the other hand over here at the top. Interesting. Let's keep moving. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers. The second temple in Jerusalem. Money changers, interesting. The only time Jesus showed any kind of aggression or physical display of anger is in his entire ministry. Has the Lord withdrew his disdain for cheating people out of their money through trickery? No. Federal Reserve was designed to do that. Today we are witnessing a money-changing crime of monumental proportions. This is saying, every day our labor and life energy is being stolen from us by a system that was designed to transfer the wealth of all working people to a small elite class of money overlords, whose only desire is power and control, with nothing to offer but misery and bondage. That's pretty heavy right there. Misery and bondage. I mean, this is where I'm saying this is, listen, just, talk it for it is. But, you can see where the misery is, because guess what? When inflation happened, did the big corporations, did they absorb that money? No, they did not absorb the money. The milk went up, didn't it? All the little people that didn't have the money, their price of living went up. So let me tell you about misery and bondage. If it didn't affect them, it didn't affect the corporations. If you think it did, then you need to review history. Chapter 2. Okay, Chapter 2, the tally system, the first encrypted ledger, 1100 to 1694. The tally stick fire, 1934. Interest. Free tokenized assets. It is hard to believe in our technology age, but there once was a time in England that for 600 years before the bank's money was counted on tally sticks, perfectly forgery-proof sticks of wood that were split lengthwise for two parties to keep track of financial transactions, mostly taxes, lost to history. Can the tally stick era return? Honest money reinvented. Yes, we now have technology to create a system that can function as a debt and an interest-free money ledger, forever freeing humanity from the fractional reserve banking scheme dream up in medieval times. To create an asset-backed currency where the people can once again become the owners people, okay, where the people can become owners again of their life, liberty, and property. A structure of currency that eliminates theft and corruption by the oligarchy. Okay. All right, let's look at some fun stuff. Anyway, that's fun pictures. Picture time is good. The Bank of England. Okay, and let's just recap on this, the tally system. I mean, we do need a tally system. We need to stop the corruption. We are paying taxes for things that we don't even know what's going on. I mean, if you think it's okay to be somewhere in let's just take California, for instance. You're paying taxes, and $134 billion got taxed, and it went to the homeless people, but there's no accountability of where that $134 billion went. If you think that's okay, you're crazy, okay? But if we also see like the intelligence scale on the United States, I mean, California is not the brightest bunch. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's just a statistic, okay? I'm from Kansas. We're not much better, but we're kind of in the higher end here. I like to think because we're talking about these things, we need to be aware. We need to tell people that aren't aware of it so they can be up to par, because there shouldn't be anybody that's more intelligent than the other. If there is, we need to talk to that person, because we should never be the smartest person in the room. We should always look for the smartest person in the room. If you want to grow, if you want to get better. The Bank of England. All right, Chapter 3. Debt as money. This is where it gets interesting. In England in 1964, a grand experiment was originated. What if money was converted from something of value to a future obligation, a promise to pay blessed by the government? The world would never be the same. War makes debt. Empires cost money. Discipline needs to be maintained among the subjects. From the years 1694 to 1763, England piled up massive debt, fighting many conflicts just from 1756 to 1763. They doubled their debt from 75 million to 150 million euros. The experiment worked. Today, with very few expectations, the world operates on a promise to pay system. Money issued as debt created from nothing. The banks have even gotten the world to believe that the unpayable debt, unfunded, compounded interest is a security. People, it's funny because that is the truth. I mean, fiat, if we look up the Greek word of fiat, it's a forced upon currency, a government forced upon currency. And that currency is a debt system. okay, that we have right now. In order to pay somebody, you have to borrow money from the debted system to pay the person, and always there will continue to be a debt. There's no way to pay off the true debt. It's just it's an ongoing debt system. It's fractional reserve. If you don't know what fractional reserve means that if everybody went to the bank to get their money at once, your money would not be there. I don't care what they say. Fractional reserve means that. It means the bank does not need to hold 1-to-1 back value of your dollar in the bank. But it also means this: if you put $1 in the bank has access, okay, because they're the middlemen for the government, because we don't have control of our bank. We can't be our own bank. All right. So therefore, they connect the dots, and they basically say, okay, they have $1 here. I got a customer. They put $1 in my account, the government. So can I loan out 10 to 10 other people? He says, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Okay, that's a problem, because now you have a system that doesn't even have a 1-to-1, but you're also lending to 1 to 10. That's a big problem. I'm not saying that we are going to... What I'm trying to say is that things are changing fast, okay? They're changing fast. We're going to read through this. We're going to keep going through this. It's 12 minutes in. I don't think we need to read anymore. But I really do think we need to understand things are changing. The things will continue right where we left off. But, we need to understand that we are in a debted system. The system is a system that continues to gain debt and never pay off the debt. I mean, all you do is get a cheaper interest rate to pay the debt to make it more manageable. You're never paying down the debt, okay? And now, talking about these tally systems, the first ledger, there will be a ledger involved to where it basically governs and there is transparency, so we know, and there's an accountability for everything that the taxpayers' dollars are spending, which they should be. If you're happy about paying any kind of money, I mean, I don't just allow charges to come out of my debit card. And if I see something funky, I'm like, what the heck? I questioned it. Okay, the same thing's going to happen. Okay, and it's a system that's broke. It's a system that the Trumps are debanked right now. Okay, so if you think it's not an agenda, this is definitely agenda. It's going to happen. Okay, the Trumps have said that they have, that they're a part of, this financial pyramid scheme that they didn't know that they're a part of until they're a victim of it, because they got into politics. And it's funny because Elon Musk said, hey, I had to answer questions falsely for the SEC because they said they're going to shut down my bank and not let me move money. And if they would have done that, I would have been bankrupt and I would have gone broke. Okay, so if you think that they're not controlling everybody like puppet masters, you're crazy. Okay? They can, just like they control us, how we talk, how we act, come on. We were hit up with one of the biggest pandemics ever, and it showed how every ethical test, every ethical thing that's needed to do things the correct way was voided, okay, just so they could push an agenda. And that was the big pharma, okay? Big Pharma did that. So, when Big Pharma took something from me, I started investigating money when Big Pharma took one of my children from me. Okay? My wife, bless her heart, Pharma, This just shows you that you have to be sick in politics to buy your way in, to buy your view, and sometimes it hurts people. You know what? I am glad the crypto industry got the super PAC together, and then they did the same thing. Because you know what, it will change. And maybe they had to do the same way to get into office and the same way to get policies shifted, but these policies have to change because it's for our children's future. If we don't have a clear path for our children are really hosed. And if you don't think your child's hosed in the future with the same system going on, you are nuts. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result. So if we have the same money system and we're expecting a different result like we have for, 100 plus years now, you are insane. It's going to keep going up. There's no way it's going to go down until we figure out a plan to go down. Okay, and some of that plan, it looks really good. You can revalue the gold, you can do this, but people are like, if you revalue the gold, it shows in this book right here, you revalue the gold, it will demolish the power of the dollar. And the dollar is at a 97% power left. I mean, it's at 3% left. It's already wiped out 97% of the spending power of the dollar. So, that being said, we need hybrid systems to work to complement to get us out of this problem. We need to rebuild our treasury that is broke. Okay, it was stolen. The people's liberty, the people's money was basically, they didn't understand the full concept of the consequences of what happened. I think right now we're going to find where the Treasury takes it back. Anyway, we'll continue. This book will start at the Bank of England. We already read that, but we'll start at the colonial script. Okay, the colonial script, and then we'll move on, and then I'll show you all of this stuff. But yeah, you're gonna understand. Like, look right here. I want to stand on this. That's the power of your dollar, people. This book might be controversial, or it might be conspiracy or whatever, but there is truth. There is truth here. I guarantee you do your research. There's truth about the spending power of your dollar. And if you don't think the spending power of your dollar is gone down, then ask yourself, they've manipulated you. Your dollar power goes down because the price of the goods goes up. Okay? That's where your brain can't really get it. Okay, you're just, well, I have a dollar. Dollar's still a dollar, blah, blah. No, the dollar doesn't buy as much. So that makes it weaker. When they print more money, the dollar becomes weaker. We need to understand, if you would have put your stimulus check into Bitcoin, it would be $21,617 right now. Okay? If you would have put that stimulus check and all of your stimulus checks in crypto, holy moly. All I know is commodities are gold has gone up in prices. Okay, oil has gone up, gas has gone up. Every mineral has gone up. Okay, I don't know many that have gone down. It's taken more of your dollars to buy them today than it did in 1913. Wake up, America. Wake everybody up. This is your time to congratulate, pat each other on the back, because guess what? There's only 10, 11% of people, maybe 20% of people into crypto at all, and they're not heavy. Retail isn't what's going to move this. It's going to be institutional, but you need to prepare, because when the other 80% of all retail money starts to migrate into this new system, because they're going to say, I don't want this. I don't want my dollar. I don't want to work 40 hours a week and be screwed over, you know what I mean, with my spending power of my dollar, eventually there could be a time. I'm not saying there's not a time good to be in cash, but I'm saying that you're going to have to understand that you're going to need to know when to, the time to be in cash is when the stuff starts to drop, and then you get into cash, and then you take the cash and you do what they do. You rinse and repeat. It's a cycle. Okay. But if you zoom out, it's going uphill. If you zoom in, you're being blinded. So don't let anybody tell you you're crazy. Let yourself know you're early. You're 80%, you're ahead of 80% of all people in America. Okay? That means any dollar that you have into the right network or the right system is going to have a snowball effect. Okay? Because when things are being staked and things are being, loaned and things are being leveraged, guess what happens to the circulating supply? It depletes it. It goes away because stake coins disappear from circulation supply. Then all of a sudden you have a scarcity going on, and you have a high priced coin. Like Brad Garlink's house said, it doesn't take a student from MIT to understand it. It is time to wake up, understand that, it's going down. Take advantage of this big discount time. This is not financial advice. This is Nick, again, with Crypto Vision. I've taken a lot of your time. And again, I pray for everybody to have a blessed day. Have an awesome weekend. And we will continue the book probably tonight, later on. I'll over and out. I got a football game to go to. Late the South. Let's go kick Gardner's butt. Bye.